we can officially call the Public Art Advisory Board meeting to order. There are minutes in your packet from August the 20th, if you guys want to take a look at those. And those are just all the things that we went over. I added some photos, just so y'all could see the mural, and then the Conway Animal Services spot. And I'll take a motion in a second whenever you're ready.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, with the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes for August the 20th are approved. And then the next thing we discussed was the bylaws. That's just the, how the board will run and, all your things that you do. So that's also part of that. If you guys want to look over that again, or if you want to approve that, we can do it either way. The responsibilities are just from your ordinance that was approved. See how we vote is in there. What makes a quorum is in there, in just the order of how the meeting should go is part of that. But that's a standard committee bylaws for secondary boards for the city.
You didn't change anything in that, it's the same as what we
It's
went over
exact
last
same
time.
thing, yeah.
Okay.
We should just print extra
No
copies
changes, I just
in
printed,
case.
yeah, just printed copies, but you all did so good, cause y'all got
Everybody
your.
has their.
I make a motion to approve the bylaws.
Second,
I'll second.
Brittany,
Ashley.
Ashley,
Brittany
Brittany.
over here.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bylaws are officially approved, so I will have a copy that now says approved. That'll be the only difference at the end. It'll say approved on 9/17/2025. So that'll be the only difference, and I will keep those in our file. And then once we start finishing up our website, we'll start adding those little things to our website just so that they're always available. We'll do next.
Sure. So we have our discussion of like the public art master plan. I think we kind of talked about that a little bit on how there was a master plan that was done and created and how we kind of wanted to jump into that just to kind of start working out some of the things that were predetermined in the master plan. You all have in front of you like a sheet of some of the short-term strategies that they were looking at from fiscal year 22 through 24. And those are just some thoughts and ideas, and I guess we can take a look at those, and I don't know if you all wanna take a look at those, and maybe we come back in our next meeting and discuss those in further detail to see, you know, kind of what piques our interest, what are some things that we can determine or you know, can see ourselves doing within those, but those are also located within the package that you currently have, but those are just a snippet that we pulled from the master plan, so you all have something a little more concise to look over.
Yeah, we'll look at these all in depth during the retreat. We'll go through each one. Some of these are done, and so we'll go through the ones that are done, and then we'll walk through like how do you guys want to look at this list and maybe pick a couple of things off of here, but they have to, of course, tie together as we work on projects throughout the year. So make sure that we're not, you know, we're having enough strategy work going on and project work kind of to keep us busy for a full year. And so we'll set the calendar, we'll set the strategies, and then we'll set the projects, and then that'll help us set the budget.
That'll be our guide.
As council for it, yeah. So just so y'all always have those.
Okay. Then we had the upcoming art projects. We talked about the Conway Animal Shelter being one of the places. Did everyone receive the email that Felicia sent out that had the wall that we were looking at doing with that? And there was also, I think she sent to everyone like the RFQ with the artists on it that kind of showed what was already pre-approved for the year from council. When we went before council with the budget, it's just easier sometimes to say, hey, we know we want to do a few projects, so we go ahead and allocate that particular amount of funding. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the budget report, but it'll kind of show us what we have left to work with, what we've already done and what we've already paid for. But those are, that's one of the projects that we would have coming up is the Conway Animal Shelter and looking at which particular artists we want to do the shelter wall. So,
Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
yeah.
When you looked over the RFPs?
Because I think we all agreed last meeting that would be a good project.
I liked, well, I haven't heard of before Madhouse Conway.
That's what I was thinking.
That one stood out to me.
Yeah, he was a new one that got submitted, so we was really excited
Yeah.
To get a new one, so.
Is Barnum a different last name?
Lindsay went, it used to be Barnum,
Whitting.
she got Whitting, yes.
Okay, I was making sure that was the same one.
So, yes,
that was
that's
sent.
the same, yes, she did Welcome to Conway, so she's the artist that did Welcome to Conway,
Mm-hmm.
so she done, she did Wheels of Opportunity.
Yes, was an opportunity in the Conway.
Has Austin Floyd done any?
Austin Floyd did the Stone Dam Crane,
I thought that was the same one.
and then Art by Jessica,
Art by
Jessica will know
Jessica,
Jessica,
yeah.
she did the City Hall wall, and then Joel did the fire station and the Conway Community Center.
Has there been any discussion about like a concept at all, like what they're trying to
That's it.
see? Okay,
No.
so like we need to discuss that,
Yeah,
figure that
so
out,
once
okay.
we pick an artist, that we can schedule like a Zoom meeting and just kind of walk through, of course, it's an animal shelter, but, we'll have Spencer, who is the director, and we'll also have him engage because they'll have the final approval on the wall. But just kind of, what do we want there? What do we want to see there? Because we know it's a shelter, but how can we make that wall? Because it's an entry wall when you walk in, so a very prominent wall. And so, what do they want that to look like? So we can, if you guys want to do Madhouse, we can schedule some Zoom meetings, and I'll get on just a call and just kind of go over like some ideas. And we'll get some basic ideas from Spencer or David. I'm not for sure if they have any. I don't really have any for that.
I'm sure they wouldn't have
but
probably could create
sure they
in the
have
moment.
something. And then we can just work with the artist to come up with, what that looks like. And it's a fun process, because artists kind of give you a really good starting point.
Mhm.
You may not have a starting point, they'll give you one. You go from there. So anyone who can jump on a call, we'll schedule some calls, jump on some calls and just go from there, but yeah. Do you guys, someone wanna make a motion to use Madhouse style for the next, public art project?
Can I ask just a quick question? Are there any other murals like coming soon after potentially?
This year?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I think that this will be the last mural unless there was something already ready to go.
Okay.
And so,
I'm thinking time frame. I just was
yeah,
curious.
we don't have anything that's ready to go. We have a couple of projects that are upcoming, but they will not be,
Okay.
they will definitely be 2026 projects. I can't see, but they're all outside. And so I'm getting to the end of that kind of painting.
I heard two Madhouse, I heard one Jessica. Two were your thoughts?
I was more worried, like, given the time frame, like, who's actually, like, available to get it done.
They'll let us
So,
know.
Okay,
They kind of let us know what their schedule looks like once we
okay,
pick an artist or what we can work around as it relates to a schedule.
Okay.
Or sometimes it's like a couple of weeks that they have that they can allocate towards it. It just depends on the artist. So they typically walk us through that in that call
This is
as well.
this is a really good time for, I guess, I don't know, most of the artists we've worked with. early part of the year, like trying to April. If you don't know what you're doing, like in January to schedule in April, it's tough. April, May, June, July. I mean, it's August, but later in the year, we seem to have better. We have much better luck, and it'll just depend on the schedule. But that's part of and I'll send a list of like initial questions that we ask each artist. His timeline is one. Cost, of course, is always one, but that normally involves some type of design work in the beginning. So we'll walk through all of that and just kind of go through it. I'll send you like a checklist.
Yeah, I didn't know if like we reached out to one and they were like, actually I'm booked, like I guess then we would go look at someone else.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is an indoor mural less costly than an outdoor mural, or is there any kind of difference in price or anything like that?
No. Our indoor meals, we did 3 at the emergency shelter. The community center as well. They've all been about the same. Depending, it more depends on the scale of the wall. So Spencer's already given you the scale of the wall because they'll need that. So that's one of the first questions they ask. That can they work a lot of artists will ask if they can work in the evening times, if they can get in the building in the evening times. And you'll work through their scheduling and they'll say, here's my schedule for 3 weeks, we can knock it out, so.
So I make a motion to schedule a Zoom call, and get more information from Madhouse Conway on Conway Animal Services mural.
In a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will reach out to Madhouse, we'll get some dates. And I know one thing they will do, is also they'll do a site visit.
Did we got everybody in favor?
Wondering.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I looked up the wall shots.
I didn't see it, I didn't hear it all, I was looking down, I'm sorry.
So we'll do we'll reach out to him, she or he, I can't even remember.
I think it's a
It's a
guy.
he. I think it's a guy. So it'll be new, but he did have some really cool work, so.
Maybe need to be a new artist.
So we
It's a
went to
unique
some-
space because it's so wide. How many feet wide is it, do you know?
It's their entry wall,
Yeah.
so. And, like if you look at the photo that I put in there of the community center, that wall is huge. I mean, that wall is huge. And so we did these kind of like invisible, kind of like clouds. So, you have a large space, but you're limiting what you're actually painting to kind of give it the illusion of that whole wall is painted, but it's not. So we'll work through that, and then you'll kind of see the process, how it goes. We'll get the okay from you guys, and then we'll just go through a checklist and we'll send that out, and that way you can just go through the process as we go along and get this one approved. And it should move pretty quickly. That's my hope, is that it moves pretty quickly so that we can get a schedule and get it done by the end of the year. That would be really good. And that's how all the art projects will work. You guys will brainstorm at the retreat. You'll come up with some projects. We'll work through them, what we want to do, and then we'll start the internal process of getting all of it going. And then old business, the only thing I had was the dates, just so that everyone could see and make the meetings. Any other old business you guys wanted to discuss? anything?
I think
New business. We are going to the page is always active, the public art board, you'll see me, doing that, but I do wanna do a meet the board, so I sent you guys a form to fill out. Morgan, we actually have one for you, but if you wanna do another one, just to update it, you can. But just an intro to the new board of public art. And so again, we want the board to be visible, and kind of, again, they know that we are part of the public art board. We're actually not the members, you guys also, we really wanna put, a face to the name of public art. And one thing that we are doing at Art Walk, if you guys are going to Art Walk October the 3rd, also we're gonna have, Conway's 150th birthday party in Simon Park that day. So if y'all come, stop by, see us, we'll be out there with hats on. So, and then Morgan is doing the neighborhood art show, so they'll be down on the Kings end, so we'll have all the way down from Kings, all the way to Simon Park, all the way back.
Is that all gonna be blocked off for us?
Yes, Van Runkle, all the way down to Chestnut, and then all the way down to Simon Park, so it'll be a big loop around, so it should be really fun, it should be a really fun art walk, so. I think that'll be fun, so. That's all I got. Any new business from you?
I don't have any business.
Anything else you guys have any questions about, comments, thoughts, feedbacks?
We would like probably discuss more for the retreat to make sure, because you said you wanted to do that in like January. Okay.
and we kick off the new year.
It's like a new year, it gives us don't feel rushed. We'll kind of have some boards up, we'll literally just start painting a picture of what that year looks like. And it can be a multi-year plan if you guys wanna do that, like you wanna do some larger projects, you have the funding to do. That is just, what do you guys wanna do, what partnerships you wanna look at? Do you wanna look at an emerging artist program? Do you wanna look at a partnership with Conway Art Walk? Those things, I think it's interesting for the public art board to look at and do, so. I don't have anything else new business wise, I don't think.
I think that was pretty much it.
That was it. The staff report, the only thing I have is I would like to get an official vote from you guys to replace the Tiny Toad. Oh, I was supposed to bring them Tiny Toad books, that's what I was supposed to do.
I got them searching grab some of them.
Calvin Stinger, the original artist, can mold us one, and it's a replacement for the Tiny Toads, but I would like to have just an official vote from the board to replace the Tiny Toad, and it'll be located in MLK Square.
Make a motion to replace the Tiny Toad.
Double second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, motion carries. That's all I had for a staff report. We're almost winding down the year, so this art project will be a fun way to wind down the year, but that's mostly what we'll work on starting tomorrow, is that request for Matt House. The budget report, so I put a budget in your packet that I gave you. Because I don't think I included that the first time. So again, the only thing we've done is the community center out of the ordinance. And that ordinance is also, I put it in the packet because I couldn't remember if I did that. So ordinance 2526 this year, we appropriated $50,000. And so we did the Conway Community Center, and that's it. Normally we get Tiny Toad booklets are normally the things that we do. And then that's it. I don't think we do any other miscellaneous stuff unless we do legal notices or something like that. So that's the remaining balance we have to spend on a mural. Again, murals just depend on the area that they're painting, so they can be anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000, and they can be, they can certainly be higher than that depending on the depth of the mural, so.
Do unused funds roll to the next year?
So they do, so all of y'all's funds roll and then roll over into the next year, so whatever we don't spend this year, I just roll it over to your balance. And so I will say that your budget consists of park ad val money, which is like voluntary money, so it kind of, it fluctuates. So when people pay their taxes, there's a voluntary thing on there for parks, and so you guys get a portion of that. And so that number fluctuates because people pay their taxes at different times throughout the year. And so at the beginning of the year, our CFO will give me a number, and that number, of course, will fluctuate as people pay their voluntary taxes, whatever. So he'll give me one number, that's just a number, that I'll just hold that number. And then again, $50,000 has been a good number. And then if there's a special project outside of that you guys wanna look at, kind of look at it separately and let it has its own budget, its own number. So like at one point, we were thinking about doing 150th birthday sculpture, so it would have had its own budget. It wouldn't have been in that $50,000. It would have been a sculpture piece by itself with its own budget. So that $50,000 just gives us, like, we'll do the retreat. We'll say Public Art has met, and here are some of the things they would like to do this year, and we'll set a budget number and we'll get that number approved by council. And we can always go back and ask for more or additional whatever. That's just a starting point to get us going, and that way we can limit. I try to get the process, most of everything done on the front end, so that once we get in the process, we can just go. You don't have to like stop and get an approval, wait for a council meeting, kind of get all that done, and then you guys are ready to go. So
If we decide as a group that we wanna, participate in the art walk more, like, so that's something we've talked about. I know at the last meeting you mentioned like t-shirts or name badges or something.
Yep.
Maybe even materials showing what we do,
Absolutely.
like, does that come out of this?
yes,
It does, okay.
absolutely, yes. So if you're gonna be somewhere, you're gonna be branded, wherever you are, and so I think that's a good thing, just for that space you're in, even if it's like a different, like you're going to an art show, or you're invited somewhere, and you wanna wear, a name tag or something like that saying you're part of the art board. I think those things are pretty neat, just so you're representing the public art board in a space, and again, it's good to put a face with a name, so.
Is this on a flag or a banner or anything right now?
It's not, no, that was the original one, this one, it's not.
Okay.
It's not, no, they had a different one, but this one is not, but you can get banners or tablecloths, Shawana loves tablecloths.
Tablecloth, yes.
But yeah, so you can go through at the retreat, we'll walk through all of those things that you need, we'll make a list, and then we'll just like, do a big swoop of, just like even like some of the events that the other boards give. The tree board gives Arbor Day, that's something that we can set a table on, like that. Art walk, because it's art walk. We give the diversity advisory council gives culture in the park. We can set up something there, you can have your table,
And
swag
either
on
do
the
face
table.
painting or
Face painting,
because we do
whatever. Oh, yeah.
canvas painting there too,
Yeah,
so.
you could sponsor an
that could
artist to
be.
come and do face painting or something like that. So getting involved in those events, we'll talk about them a little bit more. Yeah, that's.
Is this new? Are these new or is this
It's
new
not,
now?
we've had it since we put the Tiny Toads out,
Okay.
so most people come by, these little books are very popular. They come by to get the books and they find all the Tiny Toads in Conway.
I'm not saying this is cool.
I don't know, I just wanna write it down. I had a thought.
That's what I can bring, something like this. So. And again, we normally have the retreat at the beginning of the year, just because it starts the year off.
Is it just the art? I mean, is it all the board and stuff?
Every board does it differently. All the
Okay,
boards
okay.
we do them at the beginning of the year, just because it starts the year, it sets the, it almost sets the calendar. So we're about to start boards and commissions open October the 1st, so a lot of boards are gonna turn over. This board will not. So boards open October the 1st. There's quite a few that are open. And so those boards will work through their new memberships. They'll have new memberships, meetings and things like that, and then just kind of set the year going forward, so. But other than that, that's all I have.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
We are adjourned. Thank you guys so much.
Well, thank y'all.
This was a quick one. It would be a quick one.